Hey, what's up everybody, Prospector here with Watcher Realms. Today I'm going to be checking out Twyla versus Kigiri. Which one's going to be better at the end of the day when it comes to Guild Boss 2? I think there's an open debate about this, and we will find out the results here today. Anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright guys, so before we get started, I want to let you know that only like 27% of my viewers are subscribed. If you like content like this and you want to see content like this in the future, this is like giving like a free tip to a content creator. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, help me out. But with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright guys, so I'm not really going to go into everybody's kit here. All I want to do is I'm going to do like a really quick take on this because I don't have a lot of time for editing tonight and I want to get this video out by tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go show you Twyla and Kigiri's gear. These are the two that we're mainly looking at. I'm going to explain a little bit about how I'm going to do the fight in the Guild Boss 2. But anyways, so the stats total are 22.5k with Twyla, 1.5 second attack interval, 110% crit rate, and 385% crit damage. Rage regen at 25%. She doesn't really need a ton of it. She does a pretty good job of getting her ult back when she needs it. Soulbound Arcana, right side, Warlord on left side. He has very good gear. I actually did, just for the fairness of the fight, I want to make sure that she actually received the best gear out of the two of them that I had on the test server here. Now going to Kigiri, we're looking at 21.4k attack, 1.5 second attack interval, right at 100% crit rate, 379% crit damage. Rage regen is at 70%. I would prefer not to be at 70% rage regen from the gear, but I have to because on the test server I don't have the Pantheon leveled up. I'm kind of just stuck with doing that, otherwise he doesn't ult enough. Now, the team. It's basically the better team holding out Arrogance and throwing in Twyla. Because Twyla is going to out DPS Arrogance and you're going to have more control over Ultimate, and I think she's going to be a better candidate than Arrogance now for Guild Boss 2. Which is wild to say. I have to say, that is really wild to say. But I think it's the truth, and I think this is the way that people are going to run their teams. You will still get the benefit from Lust's bond skill. You don't need to have him on the team, he just needs to be on your account. And you can get this burning and the extra damage. Okay, so there's two ways that I can do this. I did do a test run of this already, and the first way is to basically ult with Kigiri whenever he can parry a hit from the guild boss. But I have to tell you that with this team, I can go like that and only use the rest of the team's ultimates during vulnerability all the way up to 120k, maybe even farther as far as I know. They just keep going. You don't have to worry about ulting most of the time to take down the guild boss. There's so much damage here that the guild boss just goes down. You don't have to do anything. But I don't really think that's a super fair competition. So what I'm gonna do is what most people would probably do is like the first two phases. I'm going to ignore everybody else's ultimates, and then after that I'm going to start running their ultimates during when the boss is not in the vulnerability state. I'm going to try to focus on taking the boss's stages down as quick as possible. That way it seems more like the fight is more fair for everybody. The worst thing that kind of happens is like Elowen does occasionally, she does like this quick, like super quick heal on the Titan Sol phase, and I activate Carnelian and she heals herself up so fast that she goes down to 0, loses her orb, her essence, and then Carnelian doesn't have a chance to reapply it before Elowen like super heals herself. I don't even know how it happens. It's really annoying, but typically the other heroes don't die. It's usually Elowen. It happens during the Titan Sol phase. At any point in time up to 120k, and this is one of the reasons I'm stopping there, is to make sure that everybody's alive and there's a fair fight between the two of them. If you are interested in seeing like a maximum damage results, I will put it up as a community post on YouTube as well as in Discord later on, so you can see the results with me just pushing this as far as I can possibly go to see how Twyla does versus Kigiri on this exact same team. But like I said, make sure you get subscribed, join that Discord to get updates and features that are not normally available here. Anyways, let's just get into the fight. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first two phases, and then I'm just going to continue after that. Maybe I'll show you the Titan Sol in the third phase so you can see how I'm going to just continue to run the fight. Alright, so I'm going to pause it here. I like to go into this view. Twyla is in a Wailing Skull. You could go Wailing Skull, or you can go with a Scarlet Hunt. So either one is going to work. And the same thing with all the other fighters on the team. If you run Twyla, you can put all the fighters on the team in Scarlet Hunts if you'd like to. But I'm gonna start with Kigiri up in here. We're gonna put down Constance. I'm gonna put Lust back here. And Twyla right here. Percy and Elwyn. So those guys are all gonna have their invigoration buffs. I'm gonna give the invigoration buff to Kratos, of course, from Carnelian. And then I'm gonna put down Alistair. And I am going to put down Torador. Alistair is gonna be the only attack-based hero that doesn't get an invigoration buff. And for this part of the fight, I am just gonna go ahead, just like I would normally do. I'm gonna ult with Kigiri whenever he's gonna be hit, until the boss gets down to 0 or close to it, and then I'm gonna have everybody's ults go off. And like I said, I can continue to do this all the way to 120k because this team is just so strong that it gives me the opportunity to just hit the boss in the vulnerability state, which is wild to say the least. Alright, so here comes the first hit. I will activate Carnelian. I'm going to hit Percy to give the inspiration buff, and activate Kigiri. At this point, Kigiri does have an advantage, and to be fair, he does not have an advantage during the vulnerability state because he cannot use his Ember Strike unless he's going to be parrying something. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Okay, so we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead and activate everybody besides Kigiri. And like I said, Kigiri cannot do anything extra damage. All he can do in the vulnerable state is hit him with his basic. So in a sense, when it comes to the numbers, you have to keep that in mind, that in all fairness, he can't do anything at the other time. So it's only fair that he does his parry when he can, every single time he can. I have kind of a prediction that they're going to be pretty close, to be honest with you. That is how I feel about it. I think I just missed one of his parries. It's alright, we'll get it on the next one. He only gets one parry off basically per phase in the first 2 phases. I said advanced evolutions. Here he comes. There you go. And now we're close again, so I'll activate everybody else. It's just complete and utter destruction on the guild boss at this point. So you never want to have Kigiri activated when the poisons are going up. He may do a random sleeping strike, because he can do that when you're going to cleanse, and if he does do that, you're going to be kind of screwed. You also do not want to place your Wood Elf up here, because the Wood Elf will take the spot for the Wailing Skull. So keep that in mind as well. So what I like to do is I like to hit Elwyn now. Hopefully it cleanses him. It did. And then what I will do is activate Percy and Kigiri when he's going to hit. There you go, just like that. Activate everybody else. Lust is a little behind. I will wait for this and then hit it now. Got there a little quicker than usual. Border is not doing a ton of damage, but he does have an exclusive artifact on, which is pretty cool. Increases his chance to do the stuns. I believe that's what he does. I remember correctly. Okay, we're in the second advanced evolution here. Let me go ahead and activate these two. Got it, okay. Kigiri does cause a mess of damage. I'm a Kigiri simp. I'm really hoping he comes out on top here. But to be fair, I'm trying to make sure that I'm putting a lot of focus on Twyla as well. I want to make sure that she has a fair fight. Okay, so I am going to activate Carnelian here. And everybody else. Kigiri did get a hit off there, which is perfect. Just in time. Like I said, I do want you guys to keep in mind that I am trying to be as fair as I can. There's Percy, Kigiri. When this advanced evolution changes to 3, I will try to activate these guys as soon as they come up, so they're doing as much damage at all times during the fight, until we get to 120k. You have to also keep in mind that I am not trying to... Hold on just 1 second here. Kigiri's not going to be on time for this one. On global, he would be at A1. I know this because my account, he would be ready for it. Alright. But yeah, you can just let them sit here like this the whole time until you get really close, and they don't really need any ults all the way up to 120k. It's just wild. Okay, there's a big hit. And here comes everybody else's ults as well. Get this finished. Always make sure your Constance is active and your Praetus is active before you activate your final verdict. Back into the poison phase. Just like before. I'm gonna go ahead and cleanse. I'm not gonna activate Kigiri until he actually does a physical hit. He can actually go ahead and parry there, it's just not ideal. Now we're just waiting until we get to about 5-10%, something like that. Put a wood elf down here to help out. Hardly really needed, it's just nice to have. Kigiri. Everybody else's ult's not gonna go off. You can see what I meant, like, during the vulnerability state, Kigiri can't really do anything special besides his basic. Okay, so it's gonna start off with these guys all out of rage, so they're gonna have to wait until they're ready to ult again. And every single time, what I'm going to do is wait until Twyla is ready before I ever activate Constance. I will always activate Twyla and Constance at the same time. Everybody else is going to be a little different. Alistair and Praetus will activate with Furcy and Kigiri for the most part. And then Alistair will also activate with Constance because he usually is really fast at coming back to his ult. Just like this. Perfect, just like that. Then we'll see you when we get to 120k and we'll go over the results. See you in a moment. Alright, so here we are. Coming up on the end here. I just need to get to 120k. We should be fine to stop. We're at 16, 17. The destructive power at this fight, guys, is easy like this. Dude. You have to keep in mind these guys are all awakened 5. Every single one of them. And they're all in very optimal gear. We have like thousands of ways to reroll our gear to make sure that it's proper and perfect, basically. I wish I could get this off, but I can't. Okay, whatever. We will go until this life bar already comes down. The 120k just tearing up these shields. The Aegis shield here. Which is Aegis shield is called, actually. I should say it right. Just tearing it up. Like it didn't even matter. We're going a little bit over, but it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna finish up this part. I'm gonna pull everybody off the field, then we'll end it. There we go. It's time to start pulling everybody out. That be it, guys. I will say, not having to deal with arrogance, is randomness, is absolutely awesome. I really hate the RNG of arrogance's ult and how it doesn't time right with everybody else. I'm happy to pull him out of this fight. He does do a great job, but he's just not as easy to use. Twyla is bringing amazing damage for being... She doesn't need to be A5, by the way. A1, something along those lines, is probably fine. A0, she's still going to be bringing a lot of damage. A lot of her damage is coming from her base awakening. We're gonna do not save. See, we're 124k. Felt like I could have gone forever. Let's check out the stats. And there you go. We have Kratos at 290 million. In this case, he did beat out Kigiri, which is actually kind of a surprise. And like I said, I was trying to be as fair as I possibly could with Twyla and making sure that she's always ulting. She's not Kigiri level. Okay, she's not going to beat out a Kigiri A5. She will, however, beat out a Kigiri A1 or an A0, possibly an A3, but she's not Kigiri level and she's not Kratos level, but she is absolutely awesome. 248 million, she beat out Lust, she beat out Alistair, and that means that she most likely is going to beat out Arrogance as well. Not really most likely, almost a guarantee, but the combination of Lust, Twyla, and Kigiri, definitely going to be a meta. This is going to be the meta team. Arrogance is getting the push out. But Kigiri is still on top. Just like I figured. If you use Kigiri right, you use Twyla right, Kigiri is going to come out on top at the higher awakenings. But you need to keep in mind though that Kigiri, like I said, is not going to be as good as Twyla at the low level awakenings. Twyla at low level awakenings is going to kick his rear end. But at the higher level, he can't be beat. He can't be beat. The only one that's competing closely is going to be Kratos. I don't think there's any other hero that's going to come any closer than that. The record right now on global servers is 1.4 billion damage coming from Fibu. I was looking at the world rankings. It's absolutely insane damage. I just don't see Twyla ever doing that unless there's something that I am missing when it comes to her gearing, but I don't think so. I think you'd still want to gear something along these lines. You could just go straight up crit damage and really boost it up to like another, like I would say it'd end up being like 420% crit damage. I don't think that's going to make a difference of bringing him any farther. With the combination of Kigiri, not only is just bringing out those Aegis shields, but he brings up and amps up the damage of everybody else because he's bringing those buffs off, and you could run an extra crit damage piece on all of your heroes. Which is another thing that you have to keep in mind. His utility plus damage is just astounding and can't be beaten. Twyla is amazing. I don't want to degrade the hero in any kind of way. I want you guys to know that she is absolutely amazing. Number 2 fighter. We call her that? I think so. She's gonna be the number 2 fighter for a Nightmare team on Guild Boss 2. I think so. You see that she can beat out Lust, and these guys are all in impeccable gear. So, with that being said, that is all I have for today's video. You're gonna notice there's gonna be like minimal editing throughout this video because I am very busy and low on time. And I have to get to bed because I have to work in the morning. But anyways, I wanted to say thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember to join the Discord if you have any questions or concerns and ideas for new videos or things you would like me to test. I am planning on doing some more testing with our girl Beatrix. I want to see if she could do some more damage pairing her with her Nora, putting her in different areas. I think she can do a lot more than we're doing on the surface. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep digging.